This episode looks at a critical human element of healthcare, donating blood or breast milk to help other people in desperate need. An initiative of the Department of Health in KZN is collecting and providing human breast milk to babies at risk.
Children on breastfeeding, they just tend to grow much better. And we also know that when you breastfeed a child, they are less prone to develop complications of the stomach. You often see if you give formula milk to babies that the stomach is actually too immature to deal with the formula milk properly, and then they get a very sick tummy with complications that they can even die of. And actually there's another reason, the bonding of course of a mother.
Nguletha ukuthula mina igama ngakasimamani ngihlala khona la eThemba endaweni yaseCrowdsville ngina 20 years. Ingane lena igama layo Silondile ngakasimamani una 7 months. Ayokwamanje kuse right ngoba ngikaboni lutho lubi. Futhi nakahluphi ke ihleze idlalela kanje. Suyakhala papa. Hawu ukhalelani.
Young infants, neonates who don't have access to mother's milk will need mother's milk because it's so important for them at that particular age. And sometimes under some circumstances, these neonates are separated from their mothers, in which case it is more important for them to have breast milk as opposed to any type of breast milk substitutes.
Babies, small babies, or extreme low birth weight babies or very low birth weight babies that don't have access to breast milk are often already babies with higher risk factors because they don't get access to breast milk because their mothers are very sick, for instance. So those are the babies that need the breast milk the most. And by having donor milk available for those babies, we can bridge those initial period when the mother is too sick to give us breast milk. And we can bridge that period, and then the children can still be exposed to the benefits of breastfeeding.
Kamalami ngipumzile ngamdlalose ngine-24 years. Igama lakho Lwandle ngamthola mhla 27 January kuwona lo nyaka lo.
Njani? Siyaphila. Siyazi ukuthi okokuqala ubisi lwebele lwenze njani? Luhlanzekile ngithi. Aludingi ukuthi siloko sterilize izinto, aludingi ukuthi uzothela emabhodleleni ngithi ngoba luhlezi lukhona. Luhlezi luse temperature ne right ngithi lufudumele ngendlela e right. Ubisi lokuqala oluphuma umama esanda kubeletha lolu olumthubi, lolu oluthick, oluyelo kakhulu. Yilona olubaluleke kakhulu enganeni ngoba okokuqala lolo bisi lolo lunezakha mzimba. Number 2, lolo bisi lolo kumama mhlambe osulelekile ngesifo sengculazi lifika lenzeni lelo bisi esiswini sengane lifika lupende lisebenze njengopende kuze ibisi igciwane lingakwazi ukudlulela enganeni ngithi niyabona. So ke nina ke maniphuma lana nizohamba nosishumayezela ngaphandle nakwabanye ukuthi esibhedlela kuvulwe i-milk bank la sidonate khona ubisi. Amaningi amadona esinawo okwamanje siyacela ke bomama muzizwe ukuthi ufiti and uyafisa ukuthi uzonikela ubisi ungathintana nathi uze ungaye nursery ungeza la maternity ubuze nje nge-milk bank bese uyaqalisa ama-form bese ke iprocess ibanjalo.
Ngangiyolontuza ngangiyokoma umntwana base ke beqaleni bavele baqala ekseni basifundise ke base ke bakhuluma ngokudonethela abantwana ke ebashonelwa abazali nabantwana abashiwa abazali esibhedlela. Ngase-ke mina-ke ngasukuma ngasho ukuthi ngizokwazi ukudonate umntwana.
Lento ifana nokudonate igazi. Kuyabhala nje imininingwane yakho ukuthi usibani wakwabani bese uyahlolwa ukuthi izifo nazo. Kodwa fanele ube umuntu ophila kahle, o-healthy, ongabhemi, ongaphuzi.
If we've got all the results, then she will sign a consent form saying that she consents to giving her breast milk to vulnerable infants. Then if she wants to donate, we will give her an empty glass jar or an empty feeding cup, and she will donate while she's here, but first following the infection control procedures, such as washing her hands, making sure her breast is clean, and then she will donate for us.
Hayi ukudonate kwamubisi ingoba ngibona la bantwana abashonelwa abazali nabalahliwe ukuthi bona abalithola ubisi lwebele and futhi kumele ngoba faneka nabo bakhule kahle behlezi bejabule.
Shuthi bengade ngiyoclinic ayini uboy ulwandle first week. So nje ngisamhleli kancane isikhashana kwaqhamuka usisilindiwe nje wangibuza ukuthi ngiyathanda yini. Wayese singathanda nokudonethela izingane engenabazali ubisi yabo. Ngamtshela ukuthi mina ayikho inkinga nje wajabula ngoba basho ukuthi yabo ngoqala engivumayo. Bonke bayanqaba babona mhlambe kuzoba ihlaza yabo. So ngithukile khona yabo ngoba nje it's the first time yabo. Nje sengi-ready for ukuthi ngidonethele izingane yabo. Bebe nganginika mhlawumbe noma isigubhu noma icontainer ngakwazi ukuthi ngikwazi ukufakela izingane yabo. Mhlawumbe usuku nosuku ngikwazi ukukhamela ubisi ngoba liyaphuma. Ngikhamela ubisi then-ke benginika idate yokuthi ngiphinde futhi ngilihambise eclinic ayikho inkinga. Cha nje ngizizwa yabo ngijabule kakhulu ngoba mhlawumbe nazo izoke yithola ukuthi yabo kumnandi ukusiza ohluphekile yabo izandla ziyagezana. Mhlawumbe nami ngelinye ilanga ngizodlula emhlabeni mhlawumbe kube khona engitholayo mhlawumbe nje yabo nayithole lolu sizo lolu yabo shuthi kahle kahle nami ngiyazakhela ikusasa lami.
We'll label the breast milk and then we will freeze it until such time that we're ready to pasteurize. It is vital that you first take a clean cloth, wipe the inside out with alcohol first before we fill it with water. We're just trying to keep a clean environment, as well as just making sure I'm using only from one donor into one bottle. You seal the bottle, and then what we do is we put a sticker onto it, which I have already printed out. Now what this machine does is it hermetically seals the bottle so there's no bacterial or contamination can occur. We will place the bottle into this cage. So now you place the cage into the water. It says it's busy pasteurizing. This will pasteurize at that temperature for about half an hour. So you move this cage to the next side. Now it's cooling and this should take no more than hopefully 20 minutes. Take it out, I've thawed it. So here we are. Maybe just heat it up.
Oh, okay.
One of the chief outcomes that have been measured in terms of the Millennium Development Goals, which we were supposed to achieve by 2015, and this is worldwide for all countries set, was an infant mortality rate of less than 20 per 1,000 live births. In 2012, our infant mortality was at about 42 per 1,000 live births. One of the things we've concentrated on has been on promoting exclusive breastfeeding so that we can save some children. And we've managed, in the current financial year, our estimated performance is 31 infant deaths per 1,000. Obviously, it's halfway to the Millennium Development Goal of 20, but we think with all the efforts that we've put in, you know, in all our programs, in our maternal, child, and women's health programs, and focusing on breastfeeding and exclusive breastfeeding and breastfeeding support, and encouraging the availability of breast milk all the time. We think we are definitely on track now to achieve those Millennium Development Goals.
Ngingasabi umuntu njengejwayelo yakhe. Sisebenze kahle donation nini? Ubisa ngani?
Ngidonate. Bajabula base benginikeza nanka amanye amabhodlela. Base bethi ango-donate futhi bese ngihambisa eGrowlville clinic ke ebese ke ngibona ke bayathatha abayisystem.
Hayi kuhle ke bani. Hayi siyabonga.
Every year in South Africa, thousands of patients with blood disorders reach a stage where their only hope for a cure lies in bone marrow transplants.
I started getting tired, I was pale, I had bruises everywhere on my body, arms, bruises just showed up. I mean, there was one day where I had such a big bruise on the side of my torso that my mom actually thought I was getting bullied. So she talked to the teachers asking, you know, whatever's happening at school must stop. I told my mom no one was bullying me, no one at all. I mean, I was one of the biggest kids in my grade, so no one would bully me. But symptoms just gradually grew worse and worse as the year progressed. Well, the night I got ill was quite hectic because it was 3 days before my mom had scheduled to leave to either Singapore or Australia to visit a friend. And we were at Canal Walk. We were shopping for luggage, but by this time I was pale. I could barely feel my ankles when I walked. We got to the food court and I kind of just told my parents, I'm tired, I don't want to do this anymore and I really just want to go home. Then on the way to the car park, I could barely walk. My feet were to the point where they were kind of, I had that feeling where, you know, it was kind of stabbing my ankles and it was seriously scary. By the time I got into the car, I was lying on the floor. I was just out of it. I could barely see anything.
I'm very proud of that.
We rushed to the nearest hospital, N1 hospital. They took blood tests, they took urine samples. From there, we instantly drove to Red Cross. There, they hooked me up with blood transfusions, 2 blood transfusions because my blood count was like 4, which was really low, and my platelet count was about 3. They scheduled a bone marrow biopsy to take samples of what's really happening in my body. The next morning, my doctor woke me up. He said, Riza, we think you have an illness. We think you have a form of a blood disorder in your bone marrow. And then he said the word, it's a type of cancer. And it made me feel at first kind of depressed to a point where I kind of questioned a lot of things. Like, why me? Why is this happening to me? I mean, there's never been any history of this kind of thing happening in my family ever. And that's pretty scary to me.
I certify that the above information is correct. You sign there.
Every year, children and adults with blood disorders, life-threatening blood disorders, reach a stage where the only hope of a cure, the only hope of living is a bone marrow transplant. For the vast majority of those patients, over 70%, they won't be able to find a matching donor in their own family, and that's why the South African Bone Marrow Registry was established. What we do is we help to find matching bone marrow donors for patients who don't have a match in their own family.
Igama lami ndinguThamara, ndihlala ekhaya elitsha eside B ko-M. Ndinomntana onguSiphiwo ona 7 years. uSiphiwo uye wathi ke semncinci engathi uqalwa ngabantwana kuba umntana omncinci uye wahambisa wagula kakhulu, so ke ndamthumela esibhedlele. So ingxaki kaSiphiwo ndiyifumene e-Red Cross esemncinci eGaqa into yobana une-cancer. uSiphiwo une-cancer ye-bone marrow. Udinga umongo apha emqolo, apha ebheki. Udinga umongo. Ngamanye amaxesha ukhe abe weak, afune igazi. Into endiqinisayo kuqala nguThixo ukhona. And ndiyathemba uSiphiwo uzawuphila njengabanye abantu. Into abantu ingase bathande bayazi ngoSiphiwo nami, into yobana ingase bancede uSiphiwo qha empilweni yakhe. Ayikho enye into endinophinde ndiyithethe. Bamnike umongo lo awufunayo.
When a patient is referred to us from anywhere in South Africa who needs a bone marrow transplant and they don't have a match in their family, the doctor will contact us and ask us to help find an unrelated matching donor for their patient. Once we identify a perfectly matched donor for a patient, then we enter a new phase of needing to make the arrangements to have those healthy stem cells collected and transported to the patient's bedside where they'll be waiting for a transplant. So chances of finding a perfectly matched donor is 1 in 100,000. And the chances of finding a matching donor are highest in the patient's same ethnic group. So because of the variability of bone marrow tissue types, the process of finding a match takes time and it takes medical expertise. So it can take anywhere from a few weeks to a few months to find a perfectly matching donor for a patient.
So when it comes to igama cancer, ayikho enye into so kusixelela uba death is coming. So benze primary cho. Yazi steroids ayasebenza. Benika chemotherapy still nayo ayasebenza. So basibiza ke ngoku bathi the only option ke ngoku bone marrow transplant. So ba have to baba check ke ngoku umuntu ometsha naye. But ngelishwa ke akamecha ke no-sister wakhe, and then ke ngoku into eyenzekayo ke ngoku bathi ke bazafaka igama lethu kwi-South African Bone Marrow Registry so that bazojonga phaa uba une-match. Silinde for 3 years, 3 to 4 years. Kwabe kunzima ke ngoku singafumani donor eSouth Africa. Then ke ngoku international donors ke ayonto eyenzeka overnight international harvest, so it's a story side. But ke besingena choice, we have to wait, but kuba sinela themba loba ngaba iza kwenzeka. But we were lucky ke ku international donors sifumene 8, so sa choose ke le one.
Once the staff at the South African Bone Marrow Registry have identified the perfect match for a patient, they then go about arranging for the donor to come to a hospital facility where the stem cells can be collected. And the donor is connected to a cell separator machine, much like one donates platelets. And the blood from the one arm of the donor is then siphoned through a cell separator machine, which pulls off the little healthy stem cells that we've identified for the patient. And then all the other donors' goodies, the blood and the platelets and all the other goodies, go back into their other arm. And that process takes around 4 to 6 hours. And at all times, one of our staff members is right by the donor's bedside. These are very special people. So our staff give them all the support that they need. After the 4 to 6 hour collection period is up, the donor can be discharged and go home.
We found a possible match in Germany and Australia, but because it wasn't an entire match, it was kind of like a 8 out of 9. I need a 9 out of 9 to make the bone marrow transplant work. If not, then there's a 30% chance I will survive. I'm not sure what the prognosis is for if I don't find a bone marrow donor. I just know that these blood transfusions will only keep me alive for like so long. For me personally, not finding a donor is kind of scary if I don't find a donor, but I'm also, I've also been kind of learning to live with it. So it's not that much big of a deal if I don't find a donor. I'm kind of just enjoying life right now, at this moment.
Okay, uSunflower Fund i-organization e-recruiter okanye ecela abantu ukuba mababeze i-bone marrow donor. I-recruitment yethu kakhulu siyenza kwi-universities okanye kwi-institutions apho sawufumana kakhulu abantu bekhala. Xa ndithetha abantu bekhala ndithetha ngabantu abamnyama, ndithetha ngabantu abangamakhaladi, ndithetha ngabantu abangamaNdiya. Kunzima kakhulu urecruit abantu bethu ngenxa yolwazi olungaphangalelanga kuba kaloku banenkolelo zabo kakhulu abantu bathi andikwazi udonate umongo mna okanye andikwazi udonate igazi ngoba i-ancestors zam okanye abantu bam bangakhoyo abazokwazi ukunirecognize. So abanye bathi i-religion yabo ayibavumeli uba mabadonate. So ke ngoku isiwe ke ngoku umuntu educate into yoba i-cancer is not only for lo muntu simcelelayo, is for everybody. Qha ke ngoku ingxaki into yokuba umuntu uye ayazi ingxaki xa ifutshane kuye, uyaqonda, then ke ngoku I-understand.
I haven't met any other 17-year-olds with my illness or someone like me, but I have met 17-year-olds with other cancers. Some of them have passed on, some of them are living great lives, some of them are cured, some of them are still battling. But to all of them, I would say, don't let this just hold you back, Yes, there are limits to you and yourself, but just, love life to the limits that you are given.
Bengakhona idoba ngabasihambe sofuna i-donors koma overseas isithini. Someone next door ebenokunceda, someone in your extended family ebenonceda. I-friend yakho, i-friend of i-friend yakho, i-colleague yakho, anyone nje omaziyo ebenonceda. Just athi nje thina abantu bamnyama asinalwazi lupheleleyo about indlela yoba ukudonate yintoni. I believe akukho umuntu noyazi into yoba ngaba anganceda then ahlala angancedi ibona into yoba nangu umuntu angasweleka. At least you're doing something, you give laa muntu a second chance in life. So how I wish mna abantu abamnyama bangayirejistarisha kwenzela into yoba singastruglishi donors. That's the best gift onoyinika umntu.
Siyayinqoba